Hi, I'm Executive Coach Constance Howard, and welcome to my YouTube channel, where women are inspired to be the best version of themselves. Now, before you watch the video, click the subscribe button so that you can join this community of fearless women. And click the bell so you'll be notified when new videos come out. Do you have a quote that seems to lift you up when you're having a tough day? Something that you read and instantly you're back in the fight? You got your energy back? You got your mojo back? I do. There's a quote that's always on my vision board. And I just love it. And every time I read it, I love it even more because the words just inspire me to keep going. The words inspire me to look at a challenge or a problem in a different way, and find a way around or over the problem. Right? It just inspires me just not to give up. And I wanted to share that with you today because I think it says a lot about going for your dreams. The quote is by Theodore Roosevelt, and it's called Daring Greatly. Brene Brown, not recently, it's been a couple of years now since she's written her book called Daring Greatly, she uses the quote to encourage people to step out there, to put themselves out there, to be vulnerable. Roosevelt, this was part of a speech that he made in 1910 in Paris. And it seemed to resonate with a lot of people. It says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly." I love that because what it's saying to me is forget about the critic. Forget about those who stand on the sidelines and tell you you can't, you shouldn't, it's too scary, it's too dangerous, you'll fail. Forget about those people. They just don't count, right? You get in the ring and fight for what it is you want. You fight for your dream. You fight for your purpose. We all know folks who stand on the sidelines and always want to criticize something you're doing, right? You could probably think of 4 or 5 people, without any trouble. I know I can. I know that when I was switching from my career in TV news to go into executive coaching, I spoke with one friend and she said, "Listen, you're not going to make any money doing that. It's a waste of time. Based on your skills and your history, you would be better off doing, something else." And she was coming from a good place in her heart. She, didn't want to see me fail. And I know some people in your life who poo-poo whatever it is you want to do, have good intentions. Right? They're coming from a place in their heart. They don't want to see you fail. But they don't know your heart. Just like my friend didn't know my heart. So she could stand on the sidelines and say that. And maybe she's right. Maybe I'll never make gobs of money doing what I'm doing. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what her opinion is. Just like it doesn't matter, what your naysayers think. If it's something that's burning inside your heart, then you got to go for it. You can't hide your light because you're afraid. I've talked several times about, embracing a different perspective on failure. Go think of a failure as a learning opportunity. an opportunity for you to grow, an opportunity for you to stretch yourself. You know, staying in your comfort zone, it may be safe, but in your comfort zone, are you able to become the best person, the best version of yourself? You got to leave that comfort zone. And it's scary and it's challenging. I will absolutely say those things are true. But is it worth it? In the end, right? Just like this quote says, in the end, he knows the achievement of he knows the triumph of high achievement. And even if he fails, he went down fighting. He went down fighting. He didn't just roll over and say, oh, well, woe is me, right? How many of you know shoulda, woulda, coulda people? I know a number of shoulda, woulda, coulda people. I worked with a number of shoulda, woulda, couldas, right? I should have done this. I would have done this if I could have. I could have done this if only. Right? You don't want to be a shoulda, woulda, coulda person. You want to be somebody who's in the ring, fighting for your dreams, fighting for the best you. Right? So, how do you do that? How do you dare greatly? Well, first of all, you got to decide. You got to make that decision. That's the very first step. I remember when I decided to leave TV news and go into coaching, I had been going back and forth, first with the whole idea of leaving a career that I had built over 3 decades. But once I made that decision, it was like the clouds parted and I could see my way clear because I made the decision. Whatever your decision is, whether it's to start your own business or to change your lifestyle in some way, to start a foundation, whatever it is, you got to decide in your heart, this is what I will do. Don't say this is what I want to do. Want is all about your emotions. Want is just, there's very little value in that. You can want something all day and not take action. You want to talk about what you will do. Make that decision. That's the first step. And then block out the noise. Block out the noise. Right? What is the noise? The noise are your naysayers. The folks who are on the sidelines telling you it will never work. The noise is social media. People who just want to give you a dose of negativity for no reason. They're just weighing in. They don't know you. They don't know your situation. They're just letting it rip, right? And that's what happens a lot of time on social media. People just talk just to be talking. Some of your family and friends, you're going to have to block out what they're saying. Now, you have to decide whose voice you're going to listen to. There are some folks who are have legitimate concerns that you should consider, right? Because of your finances or because of your family situation. So you have to decide what is the valid feedback you're getting and what isn't. When my friend said, you're not going to make any money doing that, you need to be doing something else, I knew her feedback was not valid. And so it was easy to block that noise out because she wasn't in the arena with me saying, this is going to be tough, but here's how you can do it. Here are some things that you can do. Here are some ways to avoid, the pitfalls. You have to decide who it is you're going to listen to and block out all the other noise. Block out all that other chatter. And then you're going to have to work on your mindset. You have to work on your mindset. You got to decide, I'm going to fill my mind with positive. I'm going to stop the negative loop that is constantly running in my head about what I can't do, what I shouldn't do, what's going to happen to me, what if this, what if that, right? That loop is constantly running. And you got to fill it with, no, I am strong. I am resilient. I am confident that I will complete this. You have to speak positivity into yourself, because seeking outside validation is always a losing game. So I want you to make a decision, block out the noise, figure out who it is you need to really pay attention to. What feedback are you getting that you really need to pay attention to? Fill your mind with positives. Tell yourself you can do it. You will do it. Develop your plan of action. Don't step out there without a plan of action. And it has to be detailed. It has to be detailed. You have to develop a plan that has a start and an end date. You have to have a plan that takes into account all of the different aspects in your life. Who will your change affect? You have to go through all of that. But the first thing is you have to develop a plan. And then I would seek advice on that plan. I would seek advice on that plan. Do your research. When I made the transition, I knew I had to get certification. I knew I had to build in time to study for that certification. I knew I had to figure out my finances, what bills I had, and how are they going to get paid. All of that is part of your plan. And you gotta really pay attention to who is it going to affect. For me, I don't have children, so I didn't have to worry about taking time away from children to study. But that may not be your case. That may not be your case. Seek outside help with your plan. Before you launch, seek people who have been there, done that. People who can really give you good feedback and good advice on your next step, and then your next step, and then your next step. And set aside time. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to reach your goal. What I found was when I was in the process of becoming, wow, I was so focused and I was so determined. Right? So if a challenge came up, it didn't matter. I was going to go around it, under it, over it. I was going to figure it out. And that's what you're going to find. You're going to have challenges. Of course you're going to have challenges. That's life. But you'll get around them. Once you make the decision, once in your heart of hearts you decide, this is no longer me and this is who I am becoming, your becoming will pull you, right? Your becoming will pull you, and it will get stronger as you get stronger. And once you have all of that, take action. Take action. I have friends who would sit around and talk about, dieting and what they were going to do. And, it was always going to be next week that they were going to start the diet. I was included. Nothing changed until we took action. Nothing changed until we decided that we were going to do it. We came up with a plan of action and we did it. We did it. So I want you to think about how you can dare greatly. I want you to think about what it is you want to dare greatly about. Is it a change in your career? Is it starting a new business? Is it changing your lifestyle? Whatever it is. But decide. Decide what you're willing to step in that arena and fight for. And forget about the critics. Forget about those who are just talking to be talking. Right? I want that kind of courage. Can I say I have it? Sometimes I do. And sometimes I have to stare over at my vision board at this quote. It comes and goes. And for you, it's going to come and go. That's just the way life is. It will come and go. But guess what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you have decided that you're going to climb in the ring and you're going to stay in the ring until you win, until you achieve the goal that you set out to achieve. I want you to dare greatly. You're so worth it. Dare greatly. Now, I want you to comment below on what resonated with you. I also want you to tell me what you are going to dare greatly for. And if there's any way I can help you, please reach out. Now, don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell so you'll be reminded when I post another video. I'll see you next week.